Welcome to the Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon on the Carolina Catholic Media Network. Today, we are live on the air from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., asking for your financial support and sharing the great work of various ministries, authors, speakers, clergy, and local radio hosts that impact our local Charlotte community. Carolina Catholic Media Network is 100% listener supported, and we need your financial support to continue broadcasting the truth of Jesus Christ. Call 1-800-857-2909. That's 1-800-857-2909 to make your tax-deductible pledge. Operators are standing by right now to take your call, or you can donate online at carolinacatholicmedia.org. Thank you for your loyal listenership. We hope you enjoy this special Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon program.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon here on the Carolina Catholic Media Network. My name is Bill Snyder, and we are finishing up our very first day. We're at our last hour, but don't worry, we still have 24 more hours of programming tomorrow and Friday. So don't forget to tune in to 1270 a.m., and we're also live on Facebook and YouTube. So please check us out. It's been a wonderful first day here for the Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon. I want to give you the numbers to call right now. We need your support. Can't keep programs on the air without your financial support, folks. We've had a lot of awesome local guests. Imagine if this went away. Imagine if you were unable to be driving around the Charlotte area listening to the radio station. Imagine if that just disappeared. 1-800-857-2909. 1-800-857-2909 to make your tax-deductible donation right now. You can also donate online at carolinacatholicmedia.org and inside the mobile app. But right now, we have a wonderful guest with us. His name is Dr. Matthew Harrison, and he is an abortion pill pioneer. And we're so excited to have Dr. Harrison with us. And so, Dr. Harrison, I'll let you take it away for this hour. It's just a pleasure to have you.
Thanks, Bill. Great to be here. I'll correct you right off the start. Abortion pill reversal pioneer, because I don't like the abortion pill.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right.
So, but yeah, very blessed to be a part of that and to be a part of this today. So I'm excited to share some of the things that are going on in the pro-life community in the Charlotte diocese. We have a lot going on. We have the Charlotte Healthcare Professionals Network that we've started up about 2 years ago, and we've just gotten permission to become a part of the Catholic Medical Association, which is a national, I guess even international organization. So we're really trying to get more medical folks following Catholic ethics, following Catholic doctrine, so that we can deliver the best health care to our patients. And we're really excited because in about 25 minutes, we're going to have Father Frank Pavone, National Director for Priests for Life, on, and we're going to talk with him about new things that are happening. There's lots of litigation and things coming from the Supreme Court surrounding pro-life issues, so it'll be great to get an update from him. And Father Frank and I go back probably almost 20 years now. I met him in about 2003. He was here for an Operation Save America conference. Concord has really become, in the past 20 years, Concord in Charlotte has become a hub for pro-life activity. This is where Operation Save America, which is an evangelical group of pro-life activists that grew out of Operation Rescue. And then this is also where Love Life was started in the Charlotte area and now is spread all over the nation. And we're actually going to be starting up some chapters in other countries. We have some roots in Ghana where we're going to start that as well. So there's a lot going on in this area. And when Father Pavone came to Charlotte My wife is Catholic, and the director of Operation Save America really didn't have any other Catholic people that he knew, and so he asked if our family would kind of host Father Pavone, and we had a great time getting to know him. He got to know all the kids. He's been a great influence in our life as a family, as a priest, and as a pro-life mentor. And so we really got to know him, and we've been close ever since. And over the course of a couple of years, he started asking me about certain ethical issues regarding medicine and healthcare, and then invited me to be a medical advisor for Priests for Life. So for the past 16, 17 years, I've been a medical advisor for them, and we talk about different ethical issues surrounding abortion, birth control, sterilization, all types of things, end-of-life issues. So it'll be exciting to talk with him about that. And one of the things that he and I have worked together on is the abortion pill reversal. That was a really exciting part that I was able to be a part of. We had a press conference in 2015 where we introduced the abortion pill reversal kit and made that available to providers so they'd have easy access to it. But I thought it'd be interesting just to go over a little bit of the history of that before Father Frank came on, and kind of tell the listeners how that came about. In 2006, I had a office in Concord, just north of Charlotte. We did inpatient, outpatient obstetrics. And Dr. Danny Holland, my partner in the practice, was a Creighton fertility instructor, practitioner. And we had progesterone in the office where we did ethically acceptable fertility treatments. And one day I was in the office and I got a call from the local crisis pregnancy center saying that a young lady had come in there, had taken the abortion pill, and immediately regretted it. She had heard, did not get to hear the heartbeat or see the ultrasound, but they did an ultrasound and found out that she was 7.5 weeks pregnant. Prior to that, her boyfriend had said that he would support her and the baby, but once she became pregnant, he wanted her to get an abortion, and that pretty much ended their relationship. She went to get the abortion, but was very torn about it. After she took the abortion pill, she went out in the parking lot. She immediately regretted it, wanted to try to throw up the pill or get it out of her system, but couldn't. So she went home for 24 hours. She just suffered with what she had done. She finally went to her mother, who's a great person, a great woman, and was very supportive. Her boyfriend had said, "Oh, your mom's going to kick you out. Your parents will kick you out. You won't get to go to school. You won't do any of the things that you've ever dreamed of doing. That's why you need to get this abortion." But her mother and father were very supportive, took her to the crisis pregnancy center. And so when they called and said, is there anything we can do? I had no idea. I said, just come to the office and we'll talk about it. So she came over, a great young lady. She was, like I said, 7.5 weeks pregnant, had taken the abortion pill 36 hours earlier. And I really had no idea what to do. This is not the type of thing they teach you in medical school. But I stepped out of the room where I had talked with her, essentially went to my office, literally prayed, looked at my physician desk reference, reviewed how RU46, the abortion pill, works. And it works by blocking progesterone. And I'd done some research in receptor biology prior to going to medical school. And I really knew that the relationship between progesterone and its receptors, if you put something in there to block that receptor, it's not going to be 100% all the time, but you might be able to outcompete that blocking medication by giving more progesterone. So I brought this idea to her and said, if we have progesterone here in the office, it's bioidentical progesterone. It's not synthetic. It's something that has been used for years in fertility in pregnant women, has been deemed safe and effective, and doesn't really have any problems with birth defects in babies. Do you want to try it? Because I have no idea whether it'll work or not. But she did. She wanted to do anything she could. So that's what we did. We gave her an injection of progesterone, and was hoping and praying that this would stop the effects of the abortion pill RE46. She left the office. That was a Thursday. Friday night, we got a call that she was starting to bleed, so we thought for sure that the abortion was completing. So we asked her to go to the emergency room. We knew the emergency room doctors there. We knew that they would support us and would help her in any way they could. When she went to the emergency room, fortunately, they did an ultrasound. She got to see the baby for the first time, the heartbeat, and she was thrilled. They did see a little hemorrhagic cyst, which tells me that the abortion pill was working, was starting to separate the lining of the placenta. But they said go home and hope for the best. So she did. She came back into the office Monday morning. She had stopped bleeding. We rechecked her, and she still had a heartbeat. We gave her more progesterone, continued progesterone protocol up until she was around halfway through her pregnancy. And she, at 40 weeks, delivered a perfectly healthy baby, perfectly healthy placenta. And that baby, Kaylee, now is about 16 years old, just turned 15, I guess, back in March. And so that was the very first abortion pill reversal baby. So I took this information. I followed that little baby until she was several years old after we closed our practice, but have still been in touch, and she's still doing great. I took this information to Father Pavone, and he was the first to say, listen, Matt, you need to write this protocol up. We need to get this information out. But it was still brand new. I still didn't know whether it was a fluke. I didn't know how this would be received by the medical community. I'm a family practice doctor that does obstetrics. I'm not an OBGYN, and so I had some fear regarding that. And but over time, people started hearing about the protocol, calling me from different countries, different states, and saying, how did you do this? What should I do? And the word got out, and we started to have more successful reversals. About 2 years later, on his own, George Delgado, out in San Diego, figured the same thing out, that progesterone could reverse the abortion pill. So he had a successful reversal, and then he and Mary Davenport published a case study report in the Annals of Pharmacotherapy in November of 2012, describing 6 case studies where women had reversed their abortions. 4 of those survived, 2 did not, so it came out to about 66%. So, but the conclusions, of course, very small numbers, not any type of controlled study, but really the conclusion is this is something that we need to look into. So then we started collecting data, and more people started using it, and people started to actually change the protocol because a lot of people didn't have injectable progesterone, or women didn't like to have the shots, and sometimes they were just taking the pills. So another study was released in 2018 in the Issues in Law and Medicine, where 547 women were in the study. 48% was the overall success rate of reversal, but of the women who took the shots correctly through the entire protocol or took the pill correctly through the entire protocol, the injections gave us a 64% success rate, a 68% success rate for the tablets. So we were very excited about that. And that really started to get us a lot more, popularity among the medical community. So I want to interrupt that right there for a little commercial for our Share-A-Thon pledge drive. I want to remind you that the phone number to call in and donate is 1-800-857-2909. Again, 1-800-857-2909. And donations can be made online at carolinacatholicmedia.org, all one word. All donations are tax deductible, and the Share-A-Thon is today through June 22nd through the 24th, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We have some great gifts for people who are making some donations. For a one-time gift of $50 or more, a copy of An Accountable American by Lisa Feely. We also, Father Mark Lawler graciously gave us 3 of these books, which we can also do for a $50 gift. We have a copy of Hearts Burning Within Us by Patchwork Heart Ministry. For a one-time gift of $70 or more, $75 or more, a Wingate University men's polo. We have some sizes, different sizes while supplies last. For a one-time gift of $20, a copy of the Contemplative Stations of the Cross, easier read than said, by Patchwork Heart Ministries. That we have that available in English and Spanish. And also for a one-time gift of $30, a copy of a Contemplative Las Posadas Advent Devotional, also available in English and Spanish. So once we got that information from those studies, Father Pavone was very instrumental in helping to spread the word on this reversal procedure. He did the national press release in 2015. And then whenever we were having talks at Heartbeat International and different conferences, we were able to share this information with other healthcare providers and give talks on this many, many times. Heartbeat International in 2016 took over our hotline, and because it was really getting overwhelming how many calls were coming in, we had nurses staffing this. They were all volunteers. And Heartbeat International has a very large footprint with crisis pregnancies all over the world, about 2,500 of those in different countries all over the world. So they took that over in 2016. I'm so grateful for that. Because it's really spread the word and the availability of abortion pill reversal in our states and all over the world. At this time, we have had reversals in 50 states and in 65 countries. We have over 1,100 providers worldwide. Over 3,000 babies have been born from abortion pill reversal without complications. And what's really going to be interesting to see over the years is, of course, the oldest abortion pill reversal baby is 15 now. We are going to see a wave of abortion pill reversal survival babies and children that are growing, knowing that our government and our medical community was perfectly fine with aborting them, and they are going to be a voice for the voiceless. And I think they're going to make a really big difference in our culture of pro-life medicine and the way that people look at unplanned pregnancies. And now we are facing teleabortions. So now we have teleabortions where people in remote areas are pregnant and want to have abortion pills mailed to them, or they are at a clinic which has an ultrasound and they have a little locked drawer where a provider will be on a screen, kind of telemedicine type of style, and they'll decide whether or not this person qualifies to take the abortion pill, and then the drawer pops open, they take it. These are extremely dangerous, extremely dangerous. For one thing, the ultrasounds have to confirm that there's not an ectopic pregnancy, and so we already know that is, even in normal legal abortion clinics, many times ultrasounds are not being done to confirm where a baby is. So if you have an ectopic pregnancy that is outside of the womb, and then you give the abortion pill, this woman could bleed to death, she could have infection, she could absolutely die. But the other issue is that these people are in remote areas, and oftentimes you have very, very heavy bleeding and complications from abortion pill or medical abortions. And so they're somewhere where they cannot get to a hospital quickly. And that becomes a big issue too. So we can see that it's not really about women's health care, but it's really about abortion. And this is something that we are going to fight. Megan Bloom is with My Doctor, or My Catholic Doctor, and she's going to be on a show, believe, Friday morning. And she, with Elizabeth Harris, will be talking about things that are going on in Western North Carolina. But I'll be working with her on trying to provide safe and effective abortion pill reversals in situations where women have had tele-abortions, essentially, where they're getting RE46 through the mail or online. So lots going on here, very exciting stuff. We have a lot of legislation that's going out through a bunch of states supporting informed consent for women who are getting abortions. I'm not a big fan of legislating abortion any more than I'm a fan of legislating murder. I think that all abortions should be outlawed and we should get rid of them totally. But I am for providing women with information that if they change their mind, they can get access to abortion pill reversal protocols. So there are 13 states: Arizona, Arkansas, Idaho, Indiana, Kentucky, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Utah, West Virginia. There are other states that are coming on board with abortion pill reversal consent laws, so that when an abortion provider gives women the abortion pill, they also have to tell them that if they change their mind, they can contact our 1-800 number, or it's actually an 877 number, 877-558-0333, or abortionpillreversal.com. We also have abortionpillrescue.com. All of those things will get women to help some caring providers that will see them hopefully within an hour to reverse their abortions. We have mobile apps, different platforms through social media to get folks on board with this. So I think we'll wrap up this segment, step away for a moment, and when we come back, we will have Father Frank Pavone with us. Thanks for tuning in.
You are listening to the Carolina Catholic Media Network Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon. Operators are standing by right now to take your tax-deductible pledge. Call 1-800-857-2909. That's 1-800-857-2909. Or donate online at carolinacatholicmedia.org.
So we have got on the Zoom call Father Frank Pavone. Welcome.
Well, it's good to be here.
Yeah, I wanted to introduce some folks that might not know you quite as well as I do. Father Frank Pavone is one of the most prominent pro-life leaders in the world. Originally from New York, he was ordained in 1988 by Cardinal John O'Connor and has dedicated his entire life and ministry to ending abortion. In 1993, he requested and received permission to serve as the National Director of Priests for Life, the largest pro-life ministry in the Catholic Church. He is also the president of the National Pro-Life Religious Council and the National Pastoral Director of the Silent No More Awareness Campaign and of Rachel's Vineyard, the world's largest ministry of healing after abortion. He travels throughout the country to an average of 4 states every week, preaching and teaching against abortion. He broadcasts daily to hundreds of thousands of people on television, radio, and online programs. I joined him for Mass earlier today myself. Mother Teresa asked him to speak in India on the life issues. The Vatican appointed him to the Pontifical Academy for Life and to the Pontifical Council for the Family to help coordinate the pro-life activities of the Catholic Church. He was present at the bedside of Terry Schiavo as she was dying and was an outspoken advocate for her life and others. Members of Congress have invited him to address the pro-life caucus and to preach at the prayer service they had in the Capitol just prior to the vote on healthcare reform. He served on the Pro-Life Council, Pro-Life and Catholic Advisory Boards of both of President Trump's election campaigns, and in 2020 was national co-chair of Pro-Life Voices for Trump. He currently serves on former President Trump's National Faith Advisory Board. He received the Proudly Pro-Life Award by the National Right to Life Committee and numerous other pro-life awards and honorary doctorates. His work has been praised by presidents, popes, and countless citizens, including myself. He is the author of 4 books: Ending Abortion, Not Just Fighting It, Pro-Life Reflections for Every Day, Abolishing Abortion and Proclaiming the Message of Life. Norma McCorvey, the Jane Roe of the Supreme Court's Roe versus Wade abortion decision, called Father Frank, the catalyst that brought me into the Catholic Church. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming, Father Frank.
It's a joy to be here. Always good to talk with you, Matt.
Yeah, so we got a lot going on in Charlotte and pro-life community. We also have a lot going on nationally. Give us a little update nationally about what you're seeing shifting in culture and shifting in the legal status, and what you see as the immediate future of pro-life work.
Well, legally, things are shifting pretty dramatically with the Supreme Court about to issue the Dobbs decision. Now, we don't know what the final official decision, of course, says yet, but because of the leaked opinion, an unprecedented event, we're very encouraged because if the official decision is anything like the leaked decision, it gives us everything we were asking for from the court. And what we were asking for was that they take away this artificial obstacle to protecting the unborn. The obstacle being abortion having this special constitutional status, which makes it difficult, if not impossible, for the states to protect these babies. Saying abortion is a constitutional right makes it very, very difficult for the state to limit that right. And just like any other fundamental right we have, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the state can only limit these in very, very narrow circumstances. They have to have a very high, compelling reason to do so, and they have to do it by the least restrictive means. So for 5 decades, in other words, people who have wanted through their elected representatives to protect these babies haven't been able to, but it looks like the court may be about to change that, which of course would open up the floodgates that so much effort over these last 50 years will finally go into effect legislatively. So that's a big shift, and it's a dramatic shift, and we'll see if that in fact happens. If it is going to happen, it's going to be just a matter of days away. Then we see culturally, I mean, the pro-life movement has been making tremendous progress through all this time, despite the legal obstacles. People are becoming more aware of, first of all, how extreme our policy is on abortion in the United States, one of the most extreme nations in the world, allowing abortion throughout pregnancy. And they don't like it. American people want more restrictions, and that's becoming more and more clear. They don't want money poured into abortion. They want to support those moms and dads that make the choice for life. So our argument is winning. Our argument is more persuasive. And the fact that it is taking hold in the hearts and minds of our fellow citizens has become clearer and clearer, not only in opinion polls, but in the involvement of people in the pro-life movement in all its different dimensions. So overall, it's a very positive picture, even though this tragedy continues with thousands of babies being killed each day. We grieve over that. We need to grieve over that, and we need to let that energize us to stop it.
So let me ask you 2 questions about Dobbs versus Jackson, and there's been lots of buzz on liberal media about this. So first of all, if the Supreme Court says essentially reverses Roe v. Wade, is all of a sudden all abortion illegal? That's the first question. And then second, is our work done? If this decision is handed down and says that the states will have the rights, it's not a federal issue anymore, is our work done in the pro-life community?
All right. Well, the short answer is no to both of those questions. The Supreme Court is not, in this case, looking to set policy on abortion. It's interesting to see, you read through the different briefs in this case, and people are making arguments about what abortion policy should be. But what the court has said, and what the draft opinion by Justice Alito says is, look, we're not here to decide one or the other side of the abortion debate. The question that the supporters of Roe v. Wade need to answer, he said, is why is it the court? Why is it the Supreme Court? Why is it we nine justices that have to decide abortion policy? If you have an argument on one or another side of this debate, go to your legislatures and hammer it out there. I remember Justice Scalia saying the same thing. One time we brought a group of active pro-life Catholics to visit with him, and he gave us the honor of a meeting and gave a little talk. And out the window of the room where we were gathered, you could see the U.S. Capitol building. And at a certain point in his remarks, he pointed to it and he said, people come to me saying, end abortion and make it illegal. He says, you got to take your argument across the street over there to the legislators. The legislature is much more equipped to deal with complex and highly charged emotional policy issues over which Americans are divided, because they're more equipped to analyze how will their policy affect all the people. The courts are not designed to do that. They're designed to resolve disputes between some of the people. There may, in fact, be just two people involved in any dispute, and a court issues a decision affecting the litigants. It's not necessarily good policy for all the rest of the folks. So that's what's happening here. The court is not going to make abortion illegal. They're going to say to the legislators in all the states, you want to make it illegal, go right ahead. There's nothing in the Constitution that prevents you from doing so. So that's question number one. Number two, as far as our work, we have to continue exactly what we're doing now, which is, first of all, serving moms, dads, families who feel they need to have an abortion, giving them the alternatives, healing those that have had abortions. And as you mentioned in my bio, that's a big part of my work and the work of Priests for Life, healing those wounds. If all the abortions stopped tomorrow, that healing work will still have only just begun. And then, of course, the work of making the laws that will protect these babies. If the courts are going to take away that roadblock, well, then we've got to go down that road and make more of those laws, make sure they're enforced, because that's going to be an issue, and continue to make the public debate as to why abortion is not only doesn't solve any problems, but creates new ones that we would really be better off without.
Yeah, and what's interesting about what you were saying was that, yeah, exactly right. After all these years after Roe versus Wade, law was never codified. And the legislative bodies could have done that or could have pushed for it, but it never happened. And they just recently attempted to have a last-ditch effort to do that and failed. So that's really interesting. So talk a little bit about, sometimes I'm sure you've run into controversy about being a religious figure that is involved in politics.
Yes.
And that's an interesting discussion, because a lot of people get very nervous about, even as a Catholic, standing up, preaching from the pulpit, or just being out on the sidewalk and talking about your faith, but also bringing politics into it. They expect us to somehow divide our brains and divide our souls and divide our lives into these little compartments. But when you have a faith, it's going to penetrate everything. But talk a little bit about how you bring together faith and politics in a way that is effective, because you're very effective at it, and you're not offensive, and you're not breaking any laws, and no one's ever really lost a 501c3 designation because of separation of church and state type of stuff. Talk a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, the church and the state do have different roles. Jesus didn't establish the church to be a political party or to write the laws of the nation, or to have a standing army, or to deliver the mail, or to do any number of things that the state is responsible for doing. At the same time, the state doesn't appoint bishops or pastors or decide what readings are going to be read in the Sunday services. So there's certainly a difference in the nature and purpose of the church and the state. Now, having said that, what are the church and the state doing that does coincide? Well, they're supposed to be serving human beings. The human person is always at the center of whether it's the state, the very existence and purpose of the state is to protect human lives and human rights. It's the essential purpose of good government, like Thomas Jefferson said. Our Declaration of Independence says that governments exist to secure the rights that God, the Creator, has given us. Just by saying that as the fundamental duty of the state, we can see how it intersects with the church, because the very existence of human rights, the fact that they should be defended, ties in with morality. In other words, there's church, there's state, but then there's morality, a common bond between the two. Both the church and the state have responsibilities to human rights, to defend, to articulate, to promote, to help people embrace those human rights and the values on which they rest. Life being the first. So we've had some situations in American law where, for example, there have been some court decisions in certain parts of the South where certain religious groups, taking the words of Jesus in the gospel, you will handle poisonous snakes and not be harmed, they had snake handling going on in the church services. Now, poisonous snakes are dangerous. And whatever one believes, you have to ask the question, well, should the law do something about, at least to regulate, if not prohibit, snake handling, lest some people who are careless get bitten and get sick or die? And in fact, that was the issue. And the state did step in. And the courts said, well, the state has a right to step in, even though it's a religious belief of these people that they'll be safe handling snakes. Our law is not based on religious belief. It's based on protecting the people. And the courts allowed that limitation on religious practice. Because again, human life was at stake. If a church service were to have a sacrifice of a baby on the altar, the state would certainly step in and say, you can't do that. Doesn't matter what you believe. We don't care what you believe. You can't do that. You can't kill a baby. So if it's not a violation of the separation of church and state, of the autonomy of church and state, for the state to step in and protect the baby from being killed in a church service, well, then it's neither is it a violation of that separation for the church to step in and say to the state, you can't permit the killing of a baby either. They both have obligations to the basic right to life. And that's where our otherwise understandable neutrality no longer applies. I mean, if two candidates come along, let's say on the question of crime, and they have different ideas, different proposals for how to reduce crime in their city, let them be heard and let's see which one is better. And the church would be neutral on, a particular political platform or program or plan like that. Let the voters decide. But what's similar there, those two candidates debating crime reduction proposals, both agree on the principle underlying the plans, which is that crime should be reduced, if not prevented altogether. You don't have a candidate coming along campaigning on the right to crime, or I want to increase crime in this city. If people saw that, they wouldn't even give a second thought to that particular proposal. Say, what do you mean you want to increase crime? Get out of here. We don't want to hear from you. And so this is the difference. The church can be neutral on a lot of things, but when it comes to the basic principles of human rights, the principles that underlie the state itself, there's no neutrality there. And that's why we can speak into the political realm in that way. In fact, the Catechism and the Code of Canon Law and the Second Vatican Council, in documents in all three of those arenas and elsewhere in various documents of the popes and of the bishops, it's very clear that we have the duty to speak up for human rights and for the freedom of the church when these things are being threatened by the state. It's not that the church is becoming too political when she starts addressing these things. It's that our politics have become too pagan. When politics starts going off the tracks of serving and protecting human rights and onto the path of destroying them, which is exactly what's happening with abortion, well, then the church speaking up about that, and very concretely and specifically, isn't the church being political. It's the church being the church.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes from you is, we need to remind our politicians that it's their job to protect the citizens, not to kill them. And so, I think that's very effective. Let me take a quick moment to plug the pledge drive here, the Share-A-Thon pledge drive, 1-800-857-2909, or you can donate at carolinacatholicmedia.org. All donations are tax deductible to keep good programming like this coming your way. So we just have a few minutes here, Father. Thank you so much for your time. I wanted you to touch base with how do we get the next generation of doctors and priests carrying this torch. I've got about 10 or 15 years left, maybe in my medical career. I am an assistant professor, and so I teach medical students and sometimes interns on pro-life things that happen every day in the hospital, end-of-life issues, abortion, all that type of thing. How does the clergy pass this torch along to be essentially activists in the pulpit and to go out to the abortion mills to offer hope and to pray and to get rid of this evil in our society?
A lot of people have preconceived notions as to why they should not get involved in this kind of activity. So going out in front of the abortion facilities, you have done that as a doctor. I've done that as a priest. And I think by simply giving our example, as you and I have both done, and many others of our colleagues across the country, is a key part of the answer. People need to be invited personally. They need to see for themselves that maybe some preconceived notion that, this activity is going to get me in legal trouble, or this activity is dangerous, or these ideas can be dispelled when we show them the example of doing this. We have to be constantly speaking about it, and that's why in our ministry we have a publishing arm. We have constant releases to the media of articles explaining different aspects of this activity, and just constantly repeating the message. Training, like you mentioned, of training of medical students and doctors, and we do training of seminarians and priests, and continuing to just create those opportunities where we can stand in front of these individuals, these professionals, and say, here's the challenge we're facing. Here are some of the ways to address it. There's no substitute for that, but everyone listening can do that. It's not just a priest that can train a priest, or a doctor that can inspire another physician. It's all the people listening to us right now who can, by pointing to the works that we and similar organizations are doing, talking it up, spreading the word in whether it's in social media or just through their personal contacts. Everyone has a role in doing this, and we've just got to keep talking about it and inviting people to be part of it.
Yeah, you've been a real inspiration to my family, my kids. They've all been out to the abortion mills to pray, to offer hope, and to just be a witness to what's happening there. And sometime when you're in the Charlotte area giving a talk or something, I need to take you down to St. Joseph's College Seminary. I have two sons in seminary now. One's in just finished theology 2, and he's in Ohio, and then I have another son who's just finished his second year in philosophy. And so I need to get you down to the seminary. It's a booming college seminary. We have like 48 seminarians just in a total of 6 years. So there's something really special going on here. We have a wonderful pro-life bishop, Bishop Peter Jugas.
Yes.
He's been very, very supportive and has given us all the support we need. So thank you so much for your time. We have Janet coming on, Janet Moreno, your colleague and good friend with Silent No More. So we're going to get a chance to talk with her. And
Good.
Andrea Hines, a local member of Silent No More. I think you know Andrea.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
So they will both be on tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. talking about the healing that goes on in the Silent No More awareness campaign for both women and men that have lost children to abortion. And thank you so much for that healing ministry that you've been a part of. Anything else you want to quickly give us and leave us with, and even maybe a blessing before you go, Father?
Let me just, thank you, Dr. Matt, for your example. It's been just so wonderful. If more people followed your example, we'd be even farther ahead in this great battle. So thank you for that over all these years. And SupremeCourtVictory.com is a website that, following up on our discussion about the Dobbs case, people may want to tune into for lots of other updates about the case. They can read all the documentation, and I'll be glad to give a blessing. Again, that's SupremeCourtVictory.com. And friends, may the Lord send you his Holy Spirit, the advocate, who advocates for us in heaven. May he make you advocates for your youngest brothers and sisters on earth, the unborn. May he bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
You are listening to the Carolina Catholic Media Network Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon. Operators are standing by right now to take your tax-deductible pledge. Call 1-800-857-2909. That's 1-800-857-2909. Or donate online at carolinacatholicmedia.org. We now rejoin network programming already in progress.